I mean, but as I got older, I was like a real homophobic guy. Like I really didn't care. I did use slurs. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Like I wasn't in tune with any of that shit. But when I grew up, like when I got older, and I'm like, oh okay, I start giving people a chance. And
Right.
I'm like, damn, like he cool. Like
Right.
Like he a cool guy, man. They straight. Like they do a lot. Like
Yeah.
Like they rich as fuck too. They have a lot of relationships. Like why not get along with them?
Yeah, I
Like,
never. I mean, I just have. I had like multiple family members who were gay even when I was young. So it was always like, and my parents are super progressive. Like, told me from a young age. They were giving me the whole speech about how black people are exactly the same as everybody else and how being gay is just fine. They were making that 100% clear to me from a young age. So anytime I said anything racist around my parents when I was a kid, they would let me know, that's racist. Let's talk about it,
oh, so your parents never even came across. They
No.
like you never heard your parents say any racial slurs at all.
No. Never.
Growing up, ever.
Never.
I just really don't fucking believe you living in New Hampshire. God damn. You a fucking liar. I don't
I'm
believe
serious.
you, dog. You a fucking liar,
Okay,
dog.
I'm gonna give you this anecdote to explain like where my parents are at. Is I remember my mom telling me one time, because we're talking about racism.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I'm like, is grandma racist? And I remember her saying to me, she's like, your grandma grew up in a very, very different time. There's things that she thinks that are not true. And I was like what? She said, well, when I was little and I would go to eat some fruit, your grandma, her mom, she would say, your grandma would tell me that you need to wash the fruit before you eat it because one of the little colored children might have peed on it in the field.
What?
Right. And so my mom explained that to me as an example of the kind of like she's like, your grandma's not racist, but she thinks a lot of stupid things about other races because she's just old fashioned, old school, doesn't, she just grew up in a different time.
My friend,
but
that
my mom
is racist as fuck.
I agree. But my mom explained that to me that like that's how not racist my mom was, is that she was warning me about other people in our life who might not have been as open-minded as our family was.
Warning you about these stupid ass comments that might come up. Like,
Right.
that is crazy.
Which I think is great because then I don't know if I ever heard my grandma say that, hopefully, but I would have at least known that that's not okay.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. I feel like if you were born anywhere in the 1960s and you're still alive during the 1950s, 70s, I'd be feeling like, damn, you were around when segregation was still going on, and I feel like, damn, you are racist.
But
and
I remember asking my mom about that as a little kid, and my mom telling me that like that was really more down south, and that in New Hampshire, A, not many black people speak of, and B, wasn't really like segregated like that. Like I don't know if this is just her remembering it better than it was, but she told me that it wasn't really like that for her as a kid. The one mystery that I can never get to the root of though is when I was a little kid, I asked my mom, did you ever have sex with a black guy? I was like 10 or some shit. And she said yes.
wow.
And whatever. And then I brought it up a couple years ago. I was like, I remember when I said this to you as a kid, and she still was like proudly like, well, yes, I did. I dated a black man when I was young. She was. I could tell that she was still kind of hyped,
But
I couldn't get her to tell me any more information.
That's crazy because I come from Los Angeles, California, and there wasn't many interracial relationships. But when I met Heather and I went down south, I seen interracial relationships, and then I'm like her dad, like her mom is white, her dad is black, and I'm seeing a lot of I'm like, why are they messing with these white people? Like,
She's really helped open your mind, huh?
Yeah, like my mind was blown. When I went to Texas, I'm telling you, like when I met her and went to Texas, just, analyzing everybody, her family, everybody, my mind was blown. Like, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, I wouldn't imagine a black man messing with a white woman. But I mean, I guess it was okay. And then, she said even her mom was like, when we were younger, it wasn't still accepted back then. And that was the 80s, 90s. Like, they were still looking at them crazy. Even her having children, little black kids, running around, they'll still kind of look at them like, what the fuck you doing with these black kids in the South? Like, that shit is crazy. Like, but
I was that kid in elementary school that I always like wanted to make sure that I had a little friendship going with the black kids in class. There wasn't that many of them, but I was trying to like tap in.
Bro, when I was in high school, I seen 0 white kids.
That's crazy.
I seen 0 white kids all the way.
I think my school was like 10 to 20, maybe 15% black.
Damn. Only white.
Josh is saying that's optimistic. I feel like we had a solid 10.
10% black.
Maybe
kids?
it got whiter when you went there a couple years after me. He said it was white.
Your sister ever fuck with a black guy?
Not that I know of.
Oh, that'll fucking hurt Josh's
Josh
heart.
might know. I don't know. He said you don't think so? he said,
hope not. He gonna get home and ask her.
So you sure?
You fucking a black guy? Was his dick bigger than mine? I mean, because that's the stigma, right?
I've heard.
Oh, shit.
But I got so much sympathy and love for all the black guys with small dicks because I know they're out there. And it's unfair for them to get stereotyped as having big old fangs if maybe they don't.
That's a fucked up feeling.
You know there's dudes walking around feeling bad about themselves because of that.
That's a fucked up feeling. Yeah, I know it's a bunch of guys, and I hope not. I've asked a couple girls, like, damn, have you ever encountered a guy with a little dick? Because I feel like girls be lying like a motherfucker. Like when they be like, oh, his dick was this big, and I'm like, fucking never.
I had a girl, I remember I went on a date with a girl when I was maybe like 25 or 26, and she was like super open. She's like, yeah, I fucked like 300, 400 guys. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like realizing I'm getting laid. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm asking her, I'm like, what's the smallest dick you ever encountered? And she told me, oh, this guy had a micro penis. I'm like, that's a real term? She's like, yeah, go look it up. I went, this is like before iPhones. I went home, I Googled micro penis as a Wikipedia article. But she told me it was really like, you know, like that. And then like I went home and found out that this is a real thing. Like,
that's what I feel like Nikita Dragon got, because ain't no fucking way that is a boy. It's
she didn't
no
get it
way,
lopped off?
dog. No, it's no fucking way that's a boy, dog.
do we know? All right, guys, we hit 50,000 subscribers. Our next goal is 100,000 subscribers. So make sure you click that button to subscribe. We appreciate y'all very, very much. Thank you.